enter into the chat the name of your organization and your title, if you have one that you'd like to share, and say hello to us. We'd love to connect with you.
Okay, perfect. So for those of you just signing in, welcome to the webinar. Hello, Tim. We will be getting started in just a couple minutes. We're going to wait for people to file in here, and we will be kicking off the webinar very shortly. Thanks very much. Once again, for those people who are just joining us, thanks for joining us. We will be getting started in just a few moments. We are waiting for a few more people to join us. We have almost 65 folks registered for today, so we're going to wait and make sure everybody who's coming is here before we jump into the content. But just wanted to say hello and welcome. And if you get a moment and you'd like to share your name and your organization in the chat with us, please do. Welcome. This is great. We've got all these terrific people. Everybody's signing in and saying hello. So thank you very much for saying hello. We appreciate that. And what do you think, Pat? You want to jump in? You want to wait another minute or two?
Let's give it 2 more minutes because people are still coming in. We're up to 23. Just give it a couple more seconds.
Sounds great.
Yep.
I'm seeing lots of familiar faces, lots of familiar names in the chat. So that's terrific. Hello.
Welcome everybody. It's so great to have you all. Yes. Okay, we're up to 24. We'll just give it maybe another minute or two, and then we'll get.
Yep. Just a quick note, Luis, you have 2 devices logged in. I don't know if you know that. There's one of them, with the one with your photo is muted. The other one is not, just so that you know.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening there. That's so interesting.
Yeah. Unless the only question I have is maybe if someone is sharing the link with you and someone else is logged in using the same link, then that's that other person. I don't know.
It's certainly possible. It's happened before, but that other Luis Guzman is not me. So yeah, it's so strange.
Well, this is exciting. It's all good. It's the mysteries of live Zoom webinars. Well, we get all these fantastic. Everybody's signing in. That's wonderful.
Okay, we're up to 28 people. That's great. That's fantastic. Okay. All right, why don't we get started, and hopefully more of our colleagues will join us. We're up to 33 participants. That's great. That's fantastic. Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon, and thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Pat Gentile. I am the Executive Director of SimplifyCT. SimplifyCT is an online and face-to-face IRS volunteer income tax assistance program. We provide year-round tax advocacy to our ALICE and below population of families throughout Connecticut, as well as nationally through our partnership with Code for America. Our goal is to provide this service to every Connecticut family where they are at through a combination of our bilingual call center that provide simple digital technology, help their families get the child tax credit and other benefits they deserve, and at many of our brick and mortar locations here throughout Fairfield County. Our overall mission is to collaborate with all nonprofits throughout the state to make sure that every low-income household receives best-in-class tax service and at all times are treated with the caring, kindness, empathy, and respect they deserve. Everyone on this call today is critical to being our first line of defense in helping ensure that we build long-term client trust and credibility, and that we do everything we can to use the tax code to help reduce poverty, especially childhood poverty. The vast majority of our clients who we serve wind up coming back to us over many years, and our goal is to eliminate poverty through the tax system and to make it generational and sustainable. So we welcome you all. Couple of housekeeping notes that I'm going to ask Lisa Evans, our Digital Communications Director, to take us through. Lisa, would you do that for us?
Sure. Hi. Thanks, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. So a little housekeeping. This is, you guys have probably all been through, I think we've all been through about 1 million Zoom webinars. So just a quick couple of notes that yes, we are recording today's webinar and we will be sharing a video link once the presentation is finalized. We are also going to be going through a digital toolkit today, and we will be sharing the link for that toolkit so everyone will have access to it. It'll come in the email, and there's going to be a web page we're going to direct you to, so it'll be there as well. If you need a personalized kit, the SimplifyCT team can help you with that. Our team is ready and willing to help with any of that. And if you do have a question during today's webinar, please just drop it into the chat. I'll be monitoring that, and then I will be sharing the questions with our panelists today. Thanks very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lisa. So that our agenda is really focused on getting out the word to all of our clients through your organizations to make sure we get them the tax credits and benefits they deserve. The child tax credit is the critical key here, which we're going to be discussing today. We have a simple filer tool that will help a client in about 10 to 15 minutes be able to process an application to get their child tax credits, as well as any unclaimed stimulus that they may be owed for their family members. We're going to have two of our esteemed panelists who have provided enormous support for this initiative, Luis Guzman from the Fairfield Community Foundation and Kim Morgan of Prosperikey. And then most importantly, Lisa will take you through the digital toolkit that we have, because our goal is to make sure that you have all of the information you need to get out to all of your constituents, all of your clients that need us the most, and we are going to do all of the work. And then we'll talk about that in a little while, that we will use all our resources to help your clients, and we'll talk about the resources that we have. And then at the end, we're going to do a quick live demo of the actual tool, the Get Your Refund, the Get CTC, Get Child Tax Credit tool that we work with Code for America. And we'll have some time for open Q&A, but naturally, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, or alternatively, if you have a question, you can just open up your mic and we will handle them as we go to different points of the agenda.
Pat, your screen switched a little bit. So right now we're looking at you, not your, or unless it's just me that I'm seeing.
What are you seeing right now? You
I'm seeing you, but the agenda is minimized. I don't know if it's the same for everyone else. You can still see it. Okay, great. Then it's just my screen. Sorry.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Keep going.
Great.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. A little bit about the national and statewide Get CTC campaign that we've been running, that SimplifyCT has been running since last year, since last June. As you all are probably aware, the American Rescue Plan is only provides for the child tax credit for the 2021 year. Unfortunately, it was not passed by Congress with extensions, which is unfortunate. So our goal right now, our goal right now is to make sure that every family in Connecticut, every child that has a social security number and is a US citizen gets either the full amount of the child tax credit or the balance that their families are owed, as well as the unclaimed third stimulus for their child. This new child tax credit, as you all have probably read, have uplifted nearly 4 million children out of poverty, cutting child poverty by approximately 30% across the country. So the impact was enormous. In Connecticut, it's estimated that as of late last year, over 20,000 children in at-risk households have yet to have their parents file a simple file or return. And it is every family, in order to get this benefit, must file a return. And that's really the challenge, to make sure that we reach out to every household in Connecticut to make sure that they understand that these are benefits that they're entitled to. It's really a total impact changer. The average refund per family for those with children are over $4,000 per family, and these funds are an essential lifeline to help them make it throughout the year. It's, as you all know from all the great work that you've done, it could be the difference in providing sustainable housing, providing adequate nutrition or supplemental nutrition, buying a used car to help people get to work, providing children with additional summer programs that they may not have access to because parents don't have the money to lay out, or even helping families where parents, if you could just be kind enough to mute, everybody mute their.
Yeah, I think Pat, if you go into your settings, Pat, into participants, you can find that person, and they're actually under panelists.
Pero estoy en mute, no te preocupes.
If you go under panelists, you can go the first one. There you go.
Okay, great. So as I said, this is really a life-altering amount of money. In fact, the refund could be as high with a mom with 2 children under the age of 6, could be as high as $7,200. And when we add in the unclaimed third stimulus for those children, it could be well over $10,000, almost $11,400. So these funds are just a life changer for so many of our families and so many of the people that you serve. Key partnerships are a major heart of what our mission is. Breaking down all the walls and barriers across the state, where we all work collaboratively together to make sure none of our families are left behind, is an important mission for SimplifyCT, as it is for you all in all the work that you do, in all the initiatives and programs that you run. This is just a sample of our critical partners and supporters. We work very closely with United Way 211 and their call center, where they redirect calls that need help filing their applications, that will be redirected to our call center. We have many trusted messengers on the ground, and we need you to join that trusted messenger team, because you're so important, because at the end of the day, you are the line of first defense in being able to reach out to the people that you know need this help. But you can see here that we work collaboratively across the entire state with many, many different legal aid societies and through the Fairfield Community Foundation, who has been so supportive. It has just been a grassroots effort, and we really thank all of you for diving in, and we hope that we can continue to really push this out between now and November 15th when the final e-filing season ends. With that said, I'd like to, with the support and collaboration at the forefront of all we do together, I'd like to introduce to you the first of our key panelists, Luis Guzman, who is the Director of Immigrant Success of the Immigrant Success Fund at the Fairfield Community Foundation. Welcome, Luis. We look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much, Patrick. I really appreciate the invite to come here, be a part of this panel and talk about this important issue. I'd also like to thank Lisa Evans, and thank you for all those folks who are here to listen. I think this is a crucial issue. And just to emphasize how important this issue is, myself, again, Director of the Immigrant Success Fund at Fairfield County's Community Foundation, and our CEO, Juanita James, were asked to attend a Zoom call with the White House, with the Biden administration. The Treasury Department was there as well. And it was a call for community foundations across the country to really highlight how important the child tax credit was and the multiplier effect and impact that it could have for families across the nation. And during that call, not only did the White House really highlight the importance of this effort, but Juanita James, our CEO, made a commitment right then and there to ensure that we support this effort in Connecticut. And we did so. We were able to provide a sizable grant to Simplify Connecticut. And for us, it was honestly a no-brainer. Simplify Connecticut is very well situated, positioned to do this work and to do all the work that really takes to ensure that non-filers receive their child tax credit. And just to give you some idea of the impact of the great work that Simplify Connecticut has done and the impact that the child tax credit can have, the Simplify Connecticut team was able to file 5,455 child tax credit returns across the country in just 10 weeks, which is very impressive. More importantly, this brought in over $23 million to people who desperately need these resources. And in the regular tax season for 2022, the team was able to add another 4.5 million in federal returns in Connecticut alone, plus an additional $1 million in earned income tax credit filings. So, again, crucial issue, has a direct impact on families that need those resources desperately. And for us, I can't think of the last time we provided, as Fairfield County's Community Foundation, the last time we provided a grant that had such a large impact in such a short amount of time. I also want to mention that it's crucial to have a multilingual staff that can respond to members of the immigrant community, the Latinx community, the various communities. We have a diverse family here in Connecticut. And it was very impressive for me to see that Simplify Connecticut and the initiatives of child tax credit in Connecticut are staffed with people who are multilingual, which I think is a key to inclusion and equity. And I think that was reflected in the results. We were able to reach a larger percentage of folks who spoke various languages, particularly Spanish, which was crucial for our Latinx community, for our immigrant community. So those skills are there. That capacity is growing, which I'm very happy to see. And so there's certainly a diversity, equity, and inclusion component to this work. So Again, I'll keep my comments short, but I believe that Simplify Connecticut and the good work they've done regarding child tax credits and the earned income tax credit has put Connecticut at the forefront. But there's a lot more people that we need to reach in a relatively short amount of time. So as a grantor, Fairfield County's Community Foundation is incredibly pleased to support this work and to partner with Simplify Connecticut. We think it's a priority, you know, Juanita James, again, our CEO, made that clear during the White House call, and we take those promises seriously, and we believe we've responded well. But again, there's more work to do. There's certainly trust issues when it comes to some immigrant communities and members of the Latinx community. And so leveraging our relationships with CBOs and nonprofits in the community that see members of the Latinx and immigrant communities and low-income persons generally is crucial. You know, if Fairfield County Community Foundation or Simplify Connecticut knocks on a door, it may not be as effective as the local CBO or nonprofit who already has an established relationship with someone. So in summary, I would say crucial issue, massive impact. The infrastructure is already there, and we need your help to get the word out. And there is capacity to reach out to a diverse audience. So with that, I'd stop. I'm happy to take any questions now or later on in this webinar. But again, I want to thank Simplify Connecticut for inviting me and for the excellent work that you guys have done.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much for your kind support. As you said, your grant has been so impactful and such an amazing multiplier, the return on investment to these families to bring about, you know, close to, you know, $5 to $6 million in Connecticut, as well as the national outreach that we've done, has been really, really instrumental in your support. Without your support, we would not have gotten as far as we did. So we really are grateful. I'd like to open it up for questions for both Luis and certainly myself at this point, and then we'll bring on our other esteemed panelists. So any questions that you all would like to raise?
If anybody has a question, you can just pop it into the chat, and that's perfect. We did have one question. It was from someone. It was specifically about their client, but I think it's a good question in general that you can speak to, Pat. It was someone saying that their client has very little income and they don't usually file taxes, but they did get a stimulus check. And so the question is, does this person, do they need to file? What do they need to do to claim the CTC? And I think a lot of people are in this
that's a great question. So last year, what most of our clients were where we pushed most of our clients was to file an initial non-filer return, and whether or not they had if they had zero income, if they had income less than the requirement to file, which is for single families, there's $12,550. At those levels, we prepared simple returns for them to get the first half of the child tax credit advance. Now, in order for them to get the second half, they must do the same. They must file a return, a simple non-filer return for 2021 to get the balance of the child tax credit. And if they haven't received the third stimulus check for either themselves or their family members, which is $1,400 a piece, they would get that as well. So if you have a child that is under the age of 6, that child, regardless if you had income or not, you would have received $1,800 as an advance in 2021, and you'll receive the balance of the other $1,800 when you file your 2021 non-filer for the client. So it is critical. It's critical that we file everybody again so we can get that money.
Right. So for this particular person, if they have, even if they don't have a lot of income, they do need to file again to get that second piece of the credit. Someone else that just actually asked the question too is how do those non-filers, if so in this case, someone's going to file a simple non-filer form, which is not a full-blown tax return, but it is a tax form. How do they get their payments?
That's a great question. They are able to put in their banking account information safely and securely and get it in direct deposit. Or if they're having trouble with a bank account, we can get them bank accounts as long as they have a social security number. For those people that have Itins, we do have a bank in Stamford that works directly with the immigrant community, so we can get them a bank account there. It's most important to get our clients bankable, because the last thing we want to do is have a check go in the mail, have it either stolen or lost. So we try to do everything we can as we're signing them up through our call center to make sure that they have bank accounts that are safe and secure, and we'll actually issue them accounts right there on the spot.
Great. We have another question. So I'm not sure if we want to jump into Kim's presentation or if we want to keep going with questions. I think we've got a lot more.
Why don't we? I think once we jump into Kim Morgan's presentation, we'd love, and that's a great segue. We'd like, I think once Kim has an opportunity to kind of close the gap and close all the outreach circles that we're doing and all the wonderful things we're doing with program management and providing additional value-added services through Prosperikey, I think between Luis and Kim, we'll open it up for questions once again. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Kim Morgan, who's the CEO of Prosperikey.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. As Pat said, I'm the CEO for Prosperity Digital Marketplace. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what Prosperikey is, just because I don't think it's well known yet in Connecticut, but really excited to be partnering on this project on getting the word out about the child tax credits, because the dollars, what people are doing with the dollars, which I'll share a little bit about, is really, really important. And we need to get every penny we can into the hands of every family in the state. We built a marketplace called Prosperikey, and I'll put that in the chat in case you want to take a look at what the platform looks like. And it basically is a platform that brings together nonprofits, business, government, and philanthropy into one environment to support the ALICE population. I'm sure that most people on this call know that term ALICE, but it's an acronym for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, and Employed, and it is those who are living above the federal poverty level but below a basic cost of living. Additionally, when we were building out Prosperikey, we brought in and continue to pay consultants who have lived experience. So they advise us on a national advisory board continuously on the product. We're proud to partner with everybody that's taking an active role in connecting these households to the child tax credit, but especially with SimplifyCT, because we're doing additional outreach. As clients come on to the platform and they work with SimplifyCT to get their taxes filed, they're then being informed and able to opt into Prosperikey. And we're able to offer year-round added value opportunities for those households. So we are really striving to connect with not only the clients that you all are serving in your social services, but those that are not connected, they're disconnected from nonprofits, social services, and government. Those that are on the platform fall perfectly in line with the people that we're targeting for the tax credits, because it is those that fall below an ALICE survival budget. That ranges in Connecticut from 29% up to 43% of the population, depending on what county you're looking at. The survival budget for a family with 2 adults and 2 children in childcare ranges from $80,000 to $115,000, depending on that county that they live in. So it's pretty significant and significantly above the federal poverty level, the folks that are eligible for a lot of these programs. And we know from research that those who receive the stimulus funds initially paid off, used the money to pay off existing debts and pay their bills. And then as the second and third payments arrived, we saw people begin to save more. So in the first round, nationally, they found that 74% spent the money immediately on their debt or on their bills, and 14%, generally those in the higher income brackets, saved the money. But by the third round, 19% spent the money immediately, 32% saved it, and then 49% did a little of both. So we know that the dollars that we're putting back into people's pockets first help fuel the economy, the ones they spend, and then the dollars saved help create that cushion for those families that don't typically have a savings, particularly for emergencies. And we know that crises and emergencies happen every day, and that they shouldn't be considered out of the norm. So we want every household at or below the ALICE threshold to receive these child tax credits and every earned income tax credit that's available to them. They're busy households. They need to be reminded, as we all do, over and over again, that this is an opportunity that's there, and they need to have trusted partners to direct them to those resources, which is where all of our nonprofits come into play across the state. And we know that if we put those additional dollars into their hands, they're going to spend it on their unique family needs. It may be as basic as food, or it could be as transformational as college tuition, but they know what they need. Prosperikey is available to them to stretch their dollars further, connect them to financial literacy and asset building services, and then promote important programs like the Connecticut Child Tax Credit and SimplifyCT. And if you would like your programs on the platform, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to promote to all of our members on the platform any services that are out there that's going to improve their lives. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity to be on the webinar. And we are behind everyone's efforts to improve lives for those living paycheck to paycheck in Connecticut. So thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much for all the different services that you provide. They are really a tremendous lifeline, especially with the money that is coming in from the child tax credit and the stimulus checks. It is an opportunity for families to put some money aside, because as you indicated, most families do not have enough for any emergency. They probably do not even have $500 in a checking account saved up for any emergency that might hit them. So this was an opportunity for them to be able to do so and to give them some peace of mind. We really do look forward to many of our community-based organizations working with Prosperikey, because there is so many value-added services that can be delivered for free to our client base, and it allows us to better be able to figure out what their needs are for the future, so that we can provide other types of opportunities.
Right, and if I can just break in here, Pat, there was a question that came up, and I think it's exactly what needs to be addressed, and it's something, Kim, that you touched on, which is the idea of a trusted messenger. So the question that came up is, well, there's a concern about people having a significant hesitancy to file a tax document or to sign up, and we understand that. So this is the idea behind the trusted messenger, and that the organizations that are on this call right now are the trusted messengers. They're the, the organizations have the relationships, and so that's why we're doing this outreach. If you want to speak to that, both.
That's exactly right. This year, one of our most important trusted messengers was Building One Community in Stamford. We were lucky enough to partner with them this year on a first pilot of opening up a Vita site on location down in Selleck Street. And my colleagues from Building One are on this Zoom as well, but they were able to help us with their client base and provide the trust and credibility, because they know their clients, and their clients come to them knowing that Building One is going to steer them in the right direction, and they steer them to SimplifyCT, which was just an amazing partnership. It proves the strength of trusted messengers, and the community-based organizations that are on this call. You are the lifeline. We need you. There's no way we can reach out to, as I call it, to metaphorically knock on people's doors, because nobody's going to open the door to SimplifyCT or to any other tax preparer. You are the key to for us to be able to make sure that we can get the whole state signed up. And it'll allow us in the future, while the child tax credit may be sunsetting, it will allow in the future the opportunity for us to talk to and educate our client base so that they know that they may also be entitled to the earned income tax credits. Because many of them are hardworking families working 2-3 jobs. Many of them are working as self-employed individuals, as landscapers, as housekeepers. And we need to make sure that they understand that if they're earning money that for their family, they're entitled to enormous earned income credits in addition to the credits that they're receiving through the child tax credit program. So the expansion of the earned income tax credit by the IRS, in many cases, even for single filers, has doubled. And so even a single filer who may be in a household where they have children that another partner takes, it still helps that household overall, because if that person is filing single, it's still bringing money into their household. And so that is really, really key to that initiative. I'll stop there and take some more questions.
Yep, there's another question that came up, Pat, which was how do non-documented people get credit for their citizen children? So that's that's part of I know that there's a good chunk of the community that fit that.
Yes, and we had a tremendous amount of our community come into B1C from Stanford with that issue. And what we do is we help if a client has no social security number and is an immigrant but has children who have social security cards and are U.S. citizens, we help them up if they don't have an identification taxpayer ID number, which is called an Itin. We will actually file an application for an Itin to get them one, along with their tax return, so that they can recover the child tax credit and third stimulus for their children. So we take the time and we fill out the application, and we actually bring them down to the IRS, and we work with the IRS to make sure that they present themselves with all their documents, and we act as an advocate for them so that they don't feel uncomfortable, so they feel relaxed, that they're as you all know, our immigrant population is really critical to us, and we need to make sure that they don't feel when they walk in the door that somebody is going to try to deport them, that they're going to lose benefits for their children if they try to claim for these benefits. So it is critical that we take the time and we give the attention to them, and we have a full bilingual staff that works with them on our hotline, and also will show up at the IRS with them.
Right, exactly. And that's a big it's a big point of that I just want to also underline, basically, which is the call center is there. There's a lot of follow-up that happens. So when someone comes in, if they start their application and for whatever reason they don't finish, there's going to be follow-up. We're going to try and get a hold of them to say, did something happen? Can we help you? Let us help you finish. And all the way through, like you're saying, if they need, assistance with filing for an Itin, if they just had a question about uploading their documents, if they had a problem uploading their documents, there's a whole host of things. And the call center reps are really well-versed in dealing with all kinds of questions. And they're absolutely fantastic at getting everybody across the finish line. So that it's super important.
That's so true. From the start of the process to the finish of the process, we never leave the client unattended, and we provide long-term aftercare for that client. So if the client comes back and needs help with something, if the IRS rejects something, we go back in and we help guide them so that we can get them electronically accepted and filed. And then we also build long-term relationships with our clients so that as they grow, as their households grow, as their families grow, and they become more successful, we can then also give them a lot of aftercare and help them understand the strategies that will allow them to be successful and allow them to maximize their earned income credit and all of the cash benefits that they're entitled to through the IRS. The IRS has become, by virtue of this child tax credit, the #1 economic government agency for social benefits. It has far now surpassed the Social Security Administration. And what our goal is to eliminate all the barriers and all the complexities that the IRS throws in the way, the roadblocks that they throw in the way of our clients. we push through every roadblock to make sure the client gets the money that they deserve. And so at the end of the day, we're asking you as the trusted messengers to reach out to the clients. Let us do all the heavy lifting. We'll do all the work because we know how hard, how resource constrained we all are, how all our community-based organizations are wearing so many hats. And so we're here to do the work for you. We just need you to knock on the door and open it up for us so that we can get our clients the money they deserve.
There you go. That's a nice segue, Pat, into the digital toolkit, if you want. I'm
Yes,
happy
the
to
digital
share that.
toolkit. Yes. Anything else? Should we move on?
We got a nice comment. That's what makes the difference when serving the community, the follow-up, the guidance and the trusted relationship that's built with participants. And that's exactly, yeah, that's how we succeed.
Yeah, and that's so true, because we have built long-term trust with clients that have come in that we've helped with citizenship over a path of 6 years. So we've been filing. I had one gentleman that was filing as an Itin client, an immigrant client, for 5 years. And finally, after he had 5 years worth of tax returns, he was able to go down with building one community and be able to apply for citizenship. That's really the key here. The key is to make sure we bring every one of our clients into the mainstream and make them feel welcome and take care of them the way they should be taken care of, as if they were going to a top tax preparer. That's the way we look at it.
Exactly. And by the way, the people who are doing the tax returns, just for everyone on this call, so I can speak to the volunteers that Simplify brings. We have, well, we're in Connecticut, so we're really lucky that we have a huge pool of amazing volunteers, and these people are just super talented. And the Simplify group every year, because all of the volunteers are IRS trained, they go through training every year, they're super certified. And we actually have, is it the highest, Pat? I think it's the highest rating in the country for tax return accuracy of all of the VITA groups. So Pat won't tell you that because Pat's very modest, but I'm going to tell you that because it's phenomenal. So we're really lucky.
We do have a 97% accuracy rate, which is unheard of. But most importantly, we have clients that come to us from H&R Block and to Jack from Jackson Hewitt that have screwed up their tax returns and they haven't gotten the benefits they deserve. And we go back and we amend the returns for them, and we actually help them navigate with the IRS to make sure that they get that money as quickly as possible. So we do all types of aftercare work. We're here for your community, and we just need you all to do that make that introduction and get us in the door so that we can help and be a resource for you.
Mm-hmm.
Having said all that, I'm going to move to, that's a beautiful segue into the toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just
want to go to the next slide. So
Yep.
yeah, so this is me. Hi, I'm Lisa Evans again. So this is just a little quick screenshot of one of the flyers that we have. So Pat, if you let me share my screen, you stop sharing and then I will share. I'll take everybody through a quick walkthrough of the digital toolkit. Okay. Yep. So let me find the right screen. Here we go. So we're going to share a link with you. It's a link to a Google shared drive. And so this is the link here. So inside of this shared drive, you'll see there's a 4CT Community Orgs digital toolkit. Actually, if you go out here, you'll see there's a whole bunch of them. There are branded toolkits out here, but this is the one, you're welcome to go in here and take a look at whatever you'd like. They're all shareable. But this specific one is the one that we're looking at today. So you'll see we have sample text messages. So this is for outreach, so gives you specific text messages. The links are right in here. We have also have a sample social media. So depending on who your target audience is, so whether if your organization is, works primarily with grandparents, if you're working with parents, immigrant and refugee parents, there's tons of different options here. So I'll show you exactly how to use this. So for example, I'm just going to choose this one. I'm going to grab this Facebook post and I'm going to copy paste it. So I've just copied it. Going to go out to Facebook. Here's the SimplifyCT Facebook page. And I'm going to create a post. And so I'm going to paste that in here. I don't know. I'm hoping that you can see this. And then I'm going to add. See it. Great. And I'm going to add a photo. And there's my photo, which is the one I just downloaded. So if over here, all I have to do is I click this link, which says download for Facebook and Twitter, and I saved that image. And I'm coming over here. And so here's my post, here's the link, here's the video, here's the image, and then I hit post. And that's it. We'll wait for my computer to stop thinking, but that's basically it. So as Pat said, we've done the work for you here. So here's my post, and it's live on the SimplifyCT website. And the link is here, so people can go. It has the text, it has the image, and it's all set. So what we're asking is if you would use these resources. You can. It's as simple as cutting and pasting to get the word out to your specific group of constituents. We also have an email template in here too, so you can go ahead and just cut and paste if you use Constant Contact or MailChimp or something like that. This is information that you can just literally cut and paste into your template and send it out to everybody, and then you're all set. And in here, there are a bunch of flyers. So you can see there's a folder of flyers. There are PDFs in here. And there's some of them are targeted to teenagers and some to families, older families, grandparents, if you have a new baby, all of these different things. So everything in this toolkit is downloadable. And if your organization needs something specifically branded, like say if you needed some social media images, the images are all in here too. You can either download them from the toolkit document, or if it's simpler for you to just go in here and just, grab an image like this and download it one by one, that's fine. But if you want this image, if you want to drop your own logo in here, or if you want us to drop your organization's logo in here, just let us know. We're happy to take care of that for you. And
Yes,
we'll build a folder for you.
and a question, Lisa Rose in the chat, are these also available in Spanish? And the answer is yes.
Yes.
They are all
Yeah, the
available
Spanish
in
is coming. Yep. Right now in this toolkit, we don't have the Spanish in here right now, but they're going to be in there in the next day or two. I just confirmed that with Nancy, Pat.
Right.
So all of this stuff is in here.
And we had another question, I believe. What are the fees for this service, or how is it determined? This is all free. We are
Yeah, there's a good question.
We are a free Vita site. We do not charge our clients anything. We get our funding through grants, and all of our volunteers work. They give their time. Our tax preparers give their time and talents for free. Our call center people are all trained as advanced tax preparers in both English and Spanish. So they are just remarkable people that work all year round to do this work. And our infrastructure is set up that we have a call center hotline that I think we can put in the chat. If you could put in the chat,
Sure.
our
You bet.
hotline 860
Yep.
number.
Yep.
And you'll be able to send SMS. In that toolkit, there are SMS texts pushing that you can send out to your clients, giving them our hotline link, and also giving them the link to the Get CTC Simplified, the Get CTC website through SimplifyCT, where they can click on in one button, and in 10-15 minutes, they complete the application themselves. And what's great about it is once they start the application, if they run into problems, we're there on the other end to catch them. So when we see they start and open up a case, they open up a client ID in our case management system. If they don't finish something, we immediately reach out to them via text, and we work them through the any pain points that they may have. But the good news is the Get CTC link that exists on the White House website and on the IRS website, 99% of our people that use it are able to do it themselves. So it's just an amazing, simple tool. It is in both in English and Spanish. I'm going to just show it to you rather than take the time out, because I'd rather be here for questions, but to show you what the Get CTC link looks like. We are a national partner with Code for America, as I mentioned. This takes 10 to 15 minutes for your client to complete. It's very simple. It asks very simple questions in very simple, plain language. It's both in English and in Spanish, so the client can toggle between the two. It asks very simple questions. What's great about this tool is it's the only tool in the nation that is a digital tool that a client can use from their mobile phone that's in both English and Spanish. Last year, 400,000 people across the country in 10 weeks used this tool, and 100,000 of them came through successful. Over $400 million was gained by using this tool in the short span of 10 weeks. We are going to far surpass that this year because we're open now until November 15th. But the questions are real easy. Where was your main home? Most of everybody was in the 50 states. They're just very simple questions. Are you married? Are you not married? You say no, it'll just say, okay, well, if you can use this tool if your income is below a certain level. And it'll say, in most cases, the majority of the people right now that we're helping are below the filing threshold level. And that's critical because we need to get them to file so that they can get the child tax credit. So you can see it's a very simple tool. It's screen by screen, it's slow, it's intuitive, and anybody can use it picking it up. And if they have issues, disability issues, if they have literacy issues, all they need to do is call our 860 number, and our call center people will actually go screen by screen with them to get them through the application. So rather than go through all of this, I more would like to answer all of your questions. I'm going to open up the floor for anyone that wants to ask a question. Either you can open up your mic if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you.
Oops. There we go. Hang on.
Hello?
Hang on, Pat.
Yep.
Let me just get from here. I have too many screens open.
No problem.
Hold on. I'm just trying to get. Where are we?
While you do that, we had some more questions that came in the chat.
Here we go.
Is there a cutoff date to file? That's a great question, Denise. The answer is no. What's great about this is if they miss the filing deadline for the e-file season, which is November 15th, they still have 3 years to try to get this money. So while there's no firm cutoff date, naturally we want to get everybody their money as quickly as possible, but that's a great question. There's at least a 3-year statute going beyond the April 15th deadline of this year to file for their child tax credit and unclaimed stimulus.
That's correct. Yeah, and we actually have, what I was just doing is I was looking, there's another, in one of the other toolkits, there are a couple of different flyers that are specific to there's the National Child Credit Program, and then there's the Connecticut Child Tax Credit Program. So we have additional, you want to address that because it's confusing.
That's great. So there is a call to action as well. As you all know, you probably have read, Governor Lamont has passed a $250 child Connecticut tax rebate. Once again, the client does not need any income. The client, the family household does not require that the children be U.S. citizens, but they do need to have Itins. And the problem is we need to there's about 300,000 families in Connecticut right now that we need to file this online questionnaire so that they can get their $250 a piece. It's limited within a household to 3 children. So the maximum amount that a household can claim is $750. Once again, the child does not have to be a U.S. citizen. It could be a child of immigrant parents, but we do need to have Itins for them. And as you know, the problem is the window to file is only from June 1st to July 31st. So we are pulling out all the stops. We're working with United Way. They have done an amazing job with their campaign. We have opened up a site at Building 1 Community on Wednesdays for people to walk in Fairfield County from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock for the next 2 months. Our colleagues up at the Village for Children and Families up in Hartford has opened up their location, as well as HRA New Britain. So we're all partnering across the state to make sure that everybody has access either to walk in, to have us do the application in front of them, or alternatively, they can call that 860 number that Lisa gave you, and we will actually open up the form for you on the screen and do it on your behalf and get your consent to file so that you get it, so that, because one of the requirements is that they need to have filed a federal tax return. And if they don't have one, we can do one real quickly for them through the Get CTC process and get them the money quickly in their hands.
Yep. That's exactly right. Let's see. Okay, so there's another question. What is an ITIN? Yeah, that is the tax identification. It's the, what is it? It's the
It is the identification taxpayer ID number for an immigrant client who has a requirement to file because they're either they're working or they're eligible for the child tax credit or the third stimulus for their U.S. born child.
right. And
So-
if that person does not have an ITIN, we can assist them to get one.
Yes, we actually will prepare the application for the ITIN, which is the W-7. They'll come in either face to face to us, or they'll do it online through our electronic system through Get Your Refund and upload a copy of their passport. We will prepare the W-7, and then we will locally bring people down to the IRS office with either with a Spanish-speaking representative or myself, and we will work with the agent to have the return and the ITIN application processed together.
Right, exactly. And then there is a lot of confusion, because when people go to the Connecticut state portal, the ct.gov/DRS, and they go to actually register for the Connecticut state tax credit, they need to have their tax information with them, because one of the questions says, and Dason just posted this, it says enter your adjusted gross income, and there's this, depending on which form they filed, there's a different line number where they have to take that information, and people are getting confused. So you can definitely call the hotline, because our reps know exactly how to explain to people where to find this information, and they can help them. So if there's any questions about that.
Yes, and if we do not have a physical location, we can do the return. We can do the federal Get CTC return for them online, and we can also ask for the Connecticut rebate online. So that 860 number will get them in touch immediately with one of our representatives, and they will bring them through the entire process.
Yep. And then we had a question about where our locations are. So
We
yeah,
have a location down in Stanford, the Village for Family and Children, naturally up in Hartford. And I'm trying to remember HRA New Britain, I believe.
doing Catholic Charities in Bridgeport.
Yes, we are doing, we have been working, we've been working very hard with the Bridgeport Catholic Charities. We will be having a pop-up site that we'll announce very shortly. So we do pop-ups. We also will have pop-up sites in Danbury, in Hartford, in other parts of Connecticut that we're working with the Connecticut Parent Leadership Training Institute that's led by Melvette Hill and Janine McMahon. So we will be doing pop-ups there, where we will have trusted messages on the ground to help onboard our clients, as well as IRS trained people at those pop-ups to help. So we are using every possible venue. If there is anyone on this call that would like to host a site pop-up, we would love to organize that for you, and we will do all the work. We'll provide our team or one of our coalition partner teams to be on site to help you.
Yeah,
So
there's a question if we have offices, if we're in Eastern Connecticut, because I know Eastern Connecticut, sometimes it's tough. But yeah, we've actually in the past, we've reached out and we've worked with the United Way in the eastern part of the Connecticut, and we've also worked with a bunch of different nonprofits on the eastern side of the state. So we're happy to do what we can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we are also partnered with the Department of Public Health when children go in for their vaccines, for their for their initial COVID vaccine. We have representatives signing people up as they wait for their child to pass the 15 minutes to make sure they're okay. So we have a lot of different channels, but we need you all. Northwest Connecticut, Torrington. Yep, Maria. Well, that's a little bit remote. We can service that through our call center.
Mhm.
So please
Yeah.
just push them over to our call center and we'll make sure that we help them over the phone and online.
That's the wonderful thing too. So, if they call the hotline, that's all they have to do is just call and say that they have a question, and then, we will help them wherever they are. So, just want to be mindful of the time. We've got about a minute left in the call. So everyone's been fantastic, and thank you for all the questions. And we will definitely follow up. You'll have everyone's contact info. We will give you everybody's contact info. And as Kim mentioned earlier, if your organization has a service that you'd like to provide and like to add into Prosperikey, we will give you her contact info. Louise, thank you so much for coming and spending your time with us. We really appreciate that. So Pat, do you want to wrap us up?
Yes, I want to thank everybody for hanging in there for an hour. There's still 36 participants on here, which just shows how important and relevant this program is to so many of your families. And we want to thank you for taking the time to allow us to present to you so that we can be a real impact for you, so that we can really bring all your clients quickly to get the benefits they deserve. If you need anything, if anything comes around that you need, just please reach out to us. You can reach me at my email at patg@simplifyct.org. Let me just put it up on the screen. Okay, patg@simplifyct.org. So any questions, if you want to host a pop-up, let me know. If you need additional resources that we can provide you with. Our CTC hotline, once again, is 860-590-8910. And the Get CTC online application that you'll be able to, when you do send out the email blasts from the toolkit, is getctc.org/hotline. And your clients can get started right away. And we look forward to helping you any way we can. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedules.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye now. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you again, Louise and Kim.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Louise.
Thank you.